Here's my post-game reaction of the New York Giants versus the Philadelphia Eagles. Fly, Eagles, fly. Let's get into it. Welcome to the Nick Abari Show. If you're new here, I talk about football. I talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. I talk about pregame, postgame reactions, and I also share breaking news when it breaks. If you like that and more, make sure you find that red subscribe button and go ahead and click on that red subscribe button. And when you do click on it, take your time, because then there's going to be a notification, little bell that's going to pop up. Make sure you click on that bell as well, because that's going to alert you every single time I put out a preview game video, a post-game reaction video, or breaking news, or anything in between. So make sure you click on that subscribe so you don't miss out. Let's get to it. So this was a game that I think was a revenge game. This was a game that the Eagles needed to bounce back from. Not bounce back from our previous game, but for the fact that we already lost to the Giants earlier this year, a couple weeks back. And all the murmurs of the A.J. Brown situation, all the dysfunction, everything. And then early this week, signing Brandon Graham for his 16th season. I made a video about that and what I think about it, what I think about the move, what it does for the Eagles organization. I'm going to link that up here somewhere around. Make sure you check that video out. But coming into this game, the Eagles needed to show up, and they needed to show up in a big way. We've known the Eagles defense has been carrying this team for how many ever games, and it's too much pressure, especially with so much of the season still to go. And this game needed to be a revenge game, and also for the offense to show up, just like we did last week versus the Minnesota Vikings. So just to make sure it wasn't a fluke, we needed to show up in this game, and nobody else needed to show up more than Saquon Barkley, and show up he did. So here are the 5 things that I learned from this game. Number 1, nothing is better than beating a division rival. Nothing is even better than beating a division rival that's already beaten you. This was a revenge game. We came, we saw, and we conquered. And we did it in the Kelly green. I love that jersey. It's my favorite shade of green. Number 2, Saquon Barkley set the tone. This more so for more than anybody else on this offense. Saquon Barkley has just not been productive. He's been averaging 4 yards per carry, in the past couple of weeks. Needless to say that he set the tone for the game today. From the first carry, he set the tone, and set the tone he did. Okay? And what's even sweeter is that this is against his old team. And last time that we played against the Giants a couple weeks back, he didn't do so well. He didn't look so good. Scatterboo was the story. Scatterboo was the best runner in the game, And I think Saquon definitely needed to show up, because not only to show up for himself against his former team, but to show up as the best runner still in the game. Derrick Henry, who? The next thing that I learned from this game is that Devontae Smith is a number 1 receiver. Now, wait a minute. Relax. Calm down. I never said he wasn't. Okay? But to me, as A.J. Brown was inactive today, Devontae Smith didn't miss a beat. And for the past week, since the season started, Devontae Smith has been Jalen Hurts' favorite target outside of Dallas Goedert. Receiver-wise, Devontae Smith has been Jalen Hurts' favorite target. He's been targeted way more times than A.J. Brown. And has more receiving yards and has more touchdowns. I think as with what happened today, with A.J. Brown being, inactive for this game, Devontae Smith can step up in that number one slot, be the number one receiver, no problem. I don't think he's a number two receiver. I just think that the Eagles are fortunate that we have two number one receivers, but one that has less drama that I much prefer. A.J. Brown has some baggage, but he shows up. He balls out. Sometimes he doesn't. I have not seen that issue with Devontae Smith, and that's what I really, really love about a player like Devontae Smith. I made a video a couple weeks back about A.J. Brown, why I think that the Philadelphia Eagles, voice crack, why I think the Philadelphia Eagles could trade A.J. Brown. Because sometimes the juice is not worth the squeeze. The Philadelphia Eagles are not a dysfunctional organization. We're not the Dallas Cowboys. So we can't be having the focus, be on one player rather than the team. That's not what teams that do Super Bowls do. That's what teams that want to sell tickets for you to come watch their practices do. Dallas. Sorry. Cough. Just had a cough. Another thing I learned from this game is the Eagles offense has so many weapons when it's clicking. And click in this game, we did. The Eagles offense has so many weapons, so many players that I haven't really heard of just showed up today. And I think because A.J. Brown was inactive for this game, there wasn't so much focus on getting A.J. Brown the ball as it was to let's see how we can dissect this Giants defense. And we did. From the run game to the passing game, Jalen had to use his legs a couple of times to be able to get us in a more favorable position. But everything worked out. The ball distribution to everyone ate. Everyone in the team ate. Everyone in this offense ate. And it's really, really good to see. It's really, really good to see how versatile that we can be if we're not focused on a couple main targets. And I think that the last thing that I learned in this game is, the Eagles defense is just, I'm really, really happy with our defense. I'm really, really happy that our defense is so young and is still so hungry. 5 sacks today. 5 sacks. 5 sacks today. Jason Dart is, I must admit, electrifying to watch. But he's quickly turning into a quarterback that's always trying to make a play out of nothing. That can only work so many times. It can only work so many times, and especially against division rivals that you're going to face a lot. It can only work so many times. Our defense is just, and it's happening everywhere. It's up front and it's in the secondary. I'm really, really happy with what I see. And also, Brandon Graham hasn't played yet. He hasn't, and I'm excited and waiting to see. So there's still so much to see. Let's talk about some quick stats. Jalen Hurts had 179 passing yards, 75% completion rate, and 4 touchdowns. That's what we're here for. Scores on the board. Saquon Barkley had a day, 150 rushing yards, 14 carries, averaging 10 yards per carry, and 1 touchdown. 1 rushing touchdown and 1 receiving touchdown. Devontae Smith, 6 reception yards for 84 yards. Now, he didn't have a touchdown today, but man, the yards, the plays that he did make, very, very vital plays to be able to keep keep the chain moving and getting us into better and more favorable positions for one of these other guys to be able to make a play and get us that touchdown that we definitely needed. Dallas Goedert, 3 receptions, 28 yards, 2 touchdowns. This Philadelphia's offense is starting to come alive so much. And I don't know if it was the Kelly Green, but it is so good to see. I don't really have many things I want to talk about because I just watched the game and I enjoyed the game. There wasn't a moment in the game that I thought, oh, the Giants were going to come in or make a comeback. There wasn't. And even when Jalen Hurts was scrambling on a couple plays, I didn't feel too bothered. I really didn't. Because when you have the offense clicking, the offense putting points on the scoreboard, and then we turn over possession, we know our defense can work. We know our defense can get it done. So if our defense is making plays and our offense is making plays, that just means the team is working well together. And that's exactly what happened today. The focus was there. The intensity was there. Everyone was having fun. And because this was a divisional game, and because we've already lost to the Giants early in the season, I feel like there was a calm about how we played and how we approached things. And I'm not sure if that's from the leadership of, having a Brandon Graham around again, but there just was a calm. We didn't feel pressured. We didn't feel like we had to do anything. There was just a calm. And we just executed. We just executed on both sides, offense and defense. It's just the momentum that the Eagles have right now, and especially with the offense clicking. And we did all that clicking today without A.J. Brown. So when he comes back, I can't wait to see us starting to take our game to the next level. And this is what usually happens with us. We may start out slow. We may start out, with some problems, the chemistry might not be there, but little and by little, we just chip away and we put our head down and we work, which is why I just love a quarterback like Jalen Hurts, because he just puts everything. He sets the tone in how he's communicating, in how he addresses the media, in what he says. He just sets the tone. And he's always talking about the team and how we need to make things better, how, we need to figure out where the ball has fallen. We need to figure out where the disconnect is, where the miscommunication is, and we need to figure out how to get all those things together so we can actually start executing as a team. And everything he said has come to fruition. I am really proud of the leader that he is, because now having Brandon Graham back, it's only going to push us to that next level. And once we get pushed to that next level, what we scored? I didn't even mention the score of the game today. 38-20. We won 38-20. We put up 38 points. 38 points. Offensive points. And that's what we've been missing. That's been the missing piece. And I think it only goes up from here. The Eagles are going to fly, 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 fly. And I want to know what you think. What do you think about the only thing from this game that gives me pause is Saquon Barkley's injury. Now, I've heard that it's a groin injury and it might not be that serious, but who knows? That just might be what the coaching staff is saying, just so no one is speculating beyond that point. But that definitely gives me pause because he's now just up and going, and I don't want that to be something that gives us, sets him back and then sets our running game back. So that is one of the things that gave me pause. And, hopefully he gets better sooner than later, and hopefully, we'll be able to have him available, for the next game. But I wouldn't risk it. I wouldn't risk it at this point in the season. We're still top of the NFC East. We're 6-2. There's still a lot of football to play in the regular season. I wouldn't risk it, but I'm sure we'll manage it right. And heading into week 9, I hope he might be available. If not, I don't think it's too big of a deal. But I want to know what you think. What do you think about this game? I was reading some of the Giants fans. They were questioning some of the calls that the refs were making, and I guess everyone's, a referee now because we think that the refs won us the game, but we scored 38 points. I guess the refs scored all those 38 points for us. The refs were playing receivers for us. Calm down. What do you want? You going to blame the refs? Really? Listen, leave a comment in the comment section below. Let me know what your thoughts on this game was. I am really, really ecstatic about this team because the offense is clicking now, which was just the missing piece that we had. Our defense has always been there from day one. Now our offense is clicking again, and it makes for very exciting games that we have coming up, and to see if we can take ourselves to that next level. So let me know what you think in the comments below. I do read all the comments, but thanks for watching the Nick Abari Show. I'll see you in the next one.